What is up, everyone? This is a follow-up video for the last one that I just posted on YouTube, and someone just asked me, what do we do when the rope is fraying, or is it normal for ropes to fray? So I'm gonna go through a few things about that, how to fix that by yourself, and yeah, just doing a part 2 of this video. So the first thing is, this is not really fraying, but the threads coming out. So what happened here, I pulled it out to kind of replicate the look. But sometimes, let's say you put your rope inside of your backpack or gym bag and it gets stuck to a, like, I don't know, maybe something sharp or just a zipper in itself. Sometimes it might pull out the threads of the sheath. And what you want to do in this scenario, just because it's a lot, I had to exaggerate it, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that. Oops, this is not the best scissor, but I'm just going to cut it as best as I can. And then what you're going to do is you are going to use either a lighter or a heat gun to, in a way, reseal the rope again. So I'm gonna get a heat gun just like this, and then I'm gonna just point it. All right, and so now that we've kind of resealed it, you know, you can't really see that anymore. Cool. And so for the other thing as well is, someone just asked, like, how do you keep it from fraying, or if it's normal? So I think when it comes to fraying, this is different than the rope expanding, but when it starts fraying, it means two things. One of it means like the surface that you're using your rope in or rope on. So if you're using it indoors, it's gonna fray a lot slower. I'm not gonna say it's never gonna fray, because it's just part of using the actual rope. And if you use it outdoors, maybe like on concrete or like rocks or something like that, your rope has a higher chance of fraying, and it's gonna fray faster. However, it doesn't mean that it needs to stay in that condition forever. And I'm actually gonna go back to recommending either using a lighter or a heat gun. A heat gun, you can get this, you know, Home Depot or just any hardware store. They're not that expensive, and it's also really cool to use it for other things, especially if you're super into like organization and stuff. You can seal a lot of things as well. So with that said, I'm trying to find the part that I think maybe here is the best. Okay, yeah, I think this is a great spot to fray, and this is the middle of the rope. Before I seal the rope, this right here is the middle of the rope. You can tell that it's like the part that is most worn out. It's also a little bit thicker than the parts of the rope that I don't really touch too much. So you guys can see right there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just use a heat gun. So I just did one side so you guys can kind of tell the difference. So this right here, just this middle row right here, is the part where the heat gun was touching the rope, or, you know, on the rope. And then this other side right here, I didn't use a heat gun. So it might be hard to tell on camera, but here, I can feel that it's been sealed. And then here, I haven't been able to do that. So let's do the whole thing. It's so hard to show it on camera. I'm gonna try to figure out if I can show this in a better light. So this right here, you can tell like there's like fuzz, the fray, all of that, right? And then I'm gonna go to this side right here. You can tell it's a lot cleaner on this side. So it doesn't make the rope brand new, but again, you are able to kind of like reseal the rope, you know, from all the extra threads that's been coming off because of friction. And so, yeah, if you are, you know, if you are new to rope flow, I just want to remind you guys that the rope is meant to be used. Totally understand some of us wanting to keep the rope clean. You want to keep it nice and tidy. However, it's very normal. It is, you know, meant to hit the ground or hit the floor. I think one of the tips that I would definitely suggest is if you are someone that you do like to keep your things super nice and super, you know, clean all the time, almost like keeping things always in new condition, I would recommend you do it indoors. Carpet would be great, with a mat would be great as well. And I just wouldn't take it on any surface that is kind of like, you know, not smooth. I think that's the best word for it. And so yeah, and then the other thing as well is I want to just kind of replicate this one more time. This is a sandpaper. I don't no one is actually practicing on like sandpaper floor, but I got this to replicate, you know, to kind of like time lapse friction for everyone here. And I'm going to also exaggerate it so you can kind of see the point as well. So this, we are just pretending this is the part of the rope that's hitting the floor, all right, within time. And this is what we have, all right? So just the top part and then the bottom part. The bottom part is good. The other part is fuzzy. So hopefully you guys can see that. And what I'm going to do, actually, let's put a little bit more on this. No. So just imagine, these are like months, years of you using the rope. All right, here we go. So now we got the rope frayed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reseal the rope using a heat gun. Also, it's really hot, so if you are doing this, make sure that you don't touch the gun too close. All right, so the fuzz is temporarily gone. It's not, it didn't, how do I explain it? It didn't leave the rope, it's still there. And if you did touch it, it's gonna be somewhat like rough. However, if you just really don't like it fraying, that is one of the suggestions I would give you guys. If that's really super important. However, it doesn't change the fact that the rope, you know, has been through some stuff and it's been used. So if you guys have any more questions, do let me know and I'll see you guys soon.